into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Got a secret, can you keep it? Swear this one you'll say. Gotta lock it in your pocket, taking this one to the grave. And I show you and I know you don't tell what I said, 'cause two can keep the secret if one of them is dead.
Bravo. Your first time was excellent.
Excellent job.
I've done it alone. Glad he does.
Yes.
Well, we have a very special guest joining us tonight, Kara Royster. Did I get it right?
Royster, yeah.
Yes, and so excited to have you here. We should recognize Yvonne, of course, from the show. Welcome to our Pretty Little Liars after show. We are so happy to have you. Of course, it is season 6, episode 18, Burn This. And we know why. There was a big fire tonight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, poor little Aria.
Aww.
They were like, she has 2nd-degree burns, but she only had something right here, so, like, on her forearm.
Right. Yeah, I was worried they was gonna go to it. It was gonna be like Two-Face.
Right,
like,
that's what I thought. Like
situation.
all her face burned.
I was like, I feel like that was the opposite of everywhere the fire hit her.
Right.
I know, so crazy to think about. Like, I was like, oh, okay, it's like completely opposite. But before we jump into the fire, because I feel like that's what we all really want to talk about in a little bit, but let's talk about this Spencer and Toby revelation. This was all over Twitter as soon as the episode aired tonight. The flashback was pretty crazy. It's what we've been wanting. We wanted to understand why they split and why she's kind of moved on to Caleb. And I'm jumping way ahead of myself, guys. I got really excited and I didn't let the rest of us introduce ourselves. I don't know what I'm doing tonight. I'm Stephanie Wenger. You guys, we're so happy that you're on the chat with us, and you can find me at Stephanie Wenger on Twitter.
I'm Kristin, and you can find me on Twitter at Kristin_Strange.
And I'm Heather, and you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Heather Joy Smith.
And I'm Kara Royster. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter at Kara Royster.
Awesome. All right, so now that we've gotten through the intros, I got really excited about the episode.
It's okay.
That's all right.
We all did.
It was new. She got really into the intro.
Actually,
We were all
you upped our
we were
game
all there.
for the intro.
Yeah, that was probably the best intro we've had all season.
Yeah, so
We're replacing Hannah with you.
Yeah, you're in, Hannah's out.
Hannah's out.
you have to come back every week. We're sorry to inform you. But just put us on your calendar. But let's talk about this Spencer and Toby, the flashback tonight. We see kind of why they split, and it's more dramatic than I was anticipating.
It was less dramatic than I felt like it was being built up to be. It was like, we almost had to make that choice. I was like, she was like crying, like, I can't believe you thought that I would judge her when we almost had to make that choice. I'm like,
oh, the feels were so real.
But you were not pregnant.
Yeah,
so.
I agree. The feels were definitely there. But before this whole situation, I thought they were gonna have like a huge blowout, like, you know, screaming match, why they broke up, blah blah blah. This was just very like calm.
If she had been pregnant and like had a miscarriage or something and said we almost had to make that choice, then I would be like, oh, I get it. Mm-hmm. But she was never pregnant.
And then it just seemed like they just broke up after that.
Well, yeah, because she wanted more and he was whatever.
Well, what I wrote down was, their futures were going
separate.
Very different ways at that point. Like, clearly she had one goal and he had another. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It was interesting to think about that like moment. It's interesting to take it back to that exact moment where the breakup happened.
And he kind of seemed like he felt like he wasn't ever going to be good enough for her.
He stepped up for the baby that they never were gonna have, though.
He did.
Yeah.
He was very, very
He was
optimistic.
right
Yeah,
there.
he was
Yeah.
like, I can move here, we can do this. I'm like, you know what? At 19, if a guy says that, you're a pretty
Yeah.
lucky girl.
Right.
Very goals. Very
Yeah.
goals, Toby is.
She just shut it down.
Yeah. I would be like, okay, it's all set then. Great.
Yes. No, I mean, yeah, it was one of those sweet moments where, but you kind of, you're 19. That's kind of,
Yeah.
it felt like that for
Yeah.
sure.
Did any of you guys live in dorms?
No.
Really? I did.
Okay, me too. Did those not give you flashbacks to your college dorm? I was like, oh my god, that's exactly what my dorm looked like. Like, the paint was chipping. Oh, it's so real.
Yeah, it was just like, and they did a great job because
Yeah.
sometimes it's Pretty Little Liars world, and you're like,
Right.
it's so glamorous,
Right.
and
they
not-
have like a,
Yeah.
1,200
It
square
kind of
foot
looked
dorm.
like a jail cell.
That's what they look like. That's what they look
Yeah, I
like.
see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no. It's like living in a jail. It really is. Except for you can come and go as you please.
Yeah.
Unless you get locked out because you forget your key card, which also
my
happens a
gosh.
lot, and then they charge you $25.
I'm glad I
I
just
was
had an
gonna
apartment.
say,
Wow.
you're not your RA's friend if you get locked out.
Right.
That's the bottom line of that. But that moment, I want to take it back to that and talk about, did you think that Spencer, like, I kind of understood it from both sides. Like, I saw why Toby was being so supportive, and I saw why Spencer was kind of not ready for it all.
Well, yeah. But Toby's
Absolutely.
also older, right? He's older.
I don't know.
Isn't he a year
I think
or
he
so
might be
older?
a year,
Maybe
but
a year.
Yeah, I think that's probably it.
He's also a little more mature than everybody else.
Yeah.
Just a little
Well,
bit.
like, he's always been on the police force, so
Yeah.
it's like, I feel like the entire time we've or at least the majority of the show, he's been on that police force and kind of had to be somewhat grounded
adult, yeah.
in that,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting. And then to have it kind of come back around and to get to your character, Yvonne, talk about how that flashback kind of relates to his current relationship with your character, and what did you think of that? Did you have that? You obviously weren't in the episode, but talked about quite a bit tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I definitely liked how it went down. I thought it was a little less like crazy Pretty Little Liars. It
Yeah.
brought that realness. I feel like everyone, or some people have had that kind of breakup where it's like we're just kind of growing apart.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was nice to have like just the feels, just two real feels. But yeah, it was always interesting to see that he had almost gone through something very similar.
Yeah.
I like that they're apart though, because I feel like they were always kind of like going in very different directions. Like, she was always headed where she's headed, and he was always like gonna be a Rosewood guy on the police force. Like, they were always headed in super different directions. Like, he was never gonna move to Washington D.C. and be
Right.
a
But it is interesting that he mentioned tonight he has a type, and he did go for the exact same girl,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, pretty much.
It works, though.
I think I'm a little less cynical though. I think
Yeah.
I was like the super
Absolutely.
like a lot
opposite side.
sweeter. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're like the
But-
better version of Spencer.
Better just like I think I match
Positive.
his optimism.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Spencer was always
I
like
mean-
trying to bring him back down.
Right.
Spencer was also being like stalked, and then she like got kidnapped. So she did have she has a lot.
That's true.
more
She had a lot of
baggage.
stress to deal
Yeah.
with back in the day.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, I always find it so weird when characters start comparing themselves. Like, he was like, well, like, he knew he had a type, and it was just funny to see him
We
kind
knew
of,
he had a type the first time they talked about her.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And also my conversation with Spencer where it was like, oh, like I think I even saw like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, so I get what he was looking for.
Right,
Right.
Yeah, like, he definitely has that, like, you're definitely a leader on the show, as is Spencer. You get that sense of who he's after, and it's really fascinating, and it's going to be interesting to see. Do you think there's going to be more of this love triangle between them, or do you think he's put Spencer in the past?
I think that he is definitely thinking about her a little bit more, and I think now that I've met her and see how like similar we both are for the first time in 5-ish years, she starts noticing that his love might still lie there.
Oh, Paul wants to know, when are we going to see Yvonne again?
check out the season finale.
Oh, okay. That's only in what?
2 weeks.
Yeah,
Yes.
close.
Exciting. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
I
I cannot believe how fast this went.
I know.
Gosh.
I know. This season 6B has been that 5-year jump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crazy
Flew
fast.
by.
I really want to talk about Hannah's bridal shower because I love bridal showers. And it was
You
beautiful.
kind of look like you're dressed to go to one
I
today.
know.
With your pink
When I
and your
left,
lace and
my
stuff.
roommate was like, "You look like you're going to a summer wedding," and I was like, "Well, maybe I am."
you're going to hers.
I know. I'm going to Hannah's wedding. That's why. I was hoping I'd get an invite.
This was the most dramatic bridal shower I've ever seen, and it was just like I went from like, oh, this is pretty low key for Pretty Little Liars to level 10 drama with the fire.
They weren't playing any of the fun games though. Like you're supposed to take a pin and not say married or bride
Right.
or groom, and then you're supposed to. There's so many more.
Wasn't it interesting though that none of her friends knew the answers to all those questions though?
But
That's weird.
I feel like her New York friends should have known, because
right.
True.
if those are her friends. Like she hasn't really seen them. They haven't been around. They haven't witnessed her relationship. But her friends in New York have. So why didn't
True.
they know? Why didn't they
But like,
pop
I would
up?
feel like I could answer questions on you.
Oh, do you?
I
So
do.
sweet.
Not that I'm going to reveal
And game
them.
time.
But you know, like I feel like they should know
That's
that.
true.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, I just feel like there's some like basic things that I would know about most of my friends, like
Yeah.
where they met their boyfriend, like
Like that was
Yeah.
like the most basic question ever.
yeah, and
Yeah.
that was shocking that none of them could answer it. Like, yeah, they've all been through a lot.
But then
so-
I was like, wait, where did she meet Jordan? Was it through work something?
I think it was through work.
yeah,
But then that was Emily's first guess, and everyone was
But-
kind of like, no, wrong answer.
But sadly for us, we're not best friends with Hannah.
Right.
So
Exactly.
But I think also Hannah's mom was like, Spencer, your turn. Like, even if the New York friends would be
Right.
like know-it-all-y, so I guess
Yeah.
they kind of were like,
They
does she
they
know?
looked a little older too.
Yeah,
I
interesting.
was like, are they in their 30s?
I don't know. That was it was one of those things where the time jump. Those are the things where it gets
Yeah.
a little weird. You're
Yeah.
like, okay.
I was like, she's still 22, right?
yeah. You know, you have to kind of get there and figure it out with that. But what did you think about Hannah's mom really wanted to throw her this traditional shower? That was what I got, was that it was clearly she wanted it to be this very sweet, nice shower.
Yeah.
And I feel like she should have realized that in this world, that's less than,
Yeah,
less than
I-
likely, unfortunately for Hannah.
I totally see where her mom was going, and she really did. She's excited about this wedding. She really wanted to plan this great bridal shower for her. And Hannah was kind of being a bridezilla, but at the same time, she was almost like complete opposite of a bridezilla. Like, she was so disinterested in this bridal shower.
I loved her dress though.
I did
Yeah.
too. I love that dress.
Is that the best part of working on this show? What you get to wear?
Absolutely. The hair, makeup, all of that. Like, every time I went to my trailer to see, I would, like, open it up and there would be hanging and I'd be just
Do you get to keep any of the
ecstatic.
stuff?
No.
Every time
I just get to dream about it.
Yeah.
Every time I watch the show, I'm like, okay, worn on TV. Where can I find this?
Right.
I feel like especially with the time jump, everyone's clothes
Yeah.
every week we're totally looking at. We're like, oh, I want that and that and that. Like every week.
Yeah. I
Except for
loved
it's
everything I
always
put on.
$500.
Exactly.
For
Minimum.
One piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I thought if Hannah was there and like, oh my god, come on, game time, everyone, I'd be like, what? Did she have too much wine?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
that would have freaked me
Yeah.
out more. I think
That's
that
true.
was classic
Yeah.
Ashley Hannah conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I agree with that.
She should have been more interested in the presents though.
True.
Oh yeah.
But why would
I love
why
that
was
comment
she so
she
weird
made,
about
though.
the toys?
You don't
her
want to
mom-
open that in
I'll
front
tell
of your
you.
mother.
But her mom's like a super cool mom.
Yeah, but still.
Yeah, her mom has done some things to just get
Yeah.
her off shoplifting.
Yeah,
If
Yeah.
we all remember.
Slept with a cop. So
Her mom
in,
also
like,
was with a pastor.
Right. That's true.
You make a good point. But were you surprised when Mona showed up at the door? I really thought that gift was going to be something not
Explosive.
So, yeah,
Like evil.
Yeah,
I
not so
didn't.
lovely.
She's always had a soft spot for Hannah.
You think so?
Yeah.
You were
I feel like she still wants to be Hannah.
Yeah, she's
Oh.
always had a place in her heart for Hannah. I think she really does think Hannah's her friend, and she really wants to still be Hannah's friend.
Yeah, I guess I was the only one then that was watching and just being like, what is in that box? Like, that was literally the only thing going through my head, and I was so thrilled when it ended up being that sweet memory book and, like, them talking about their first crushes.
Yeah,
and, like, that, it was like a sweet thing that you would actually expect at a real life shower, which I really appreciated. Yeah. But then we, of course, have to switch back into this universe of Pretty Little Liars and have it be her home security system went crazy, and that started a fire, an explosion of sorts. It just was like nuts. The alarm went off.
There was like an air conditioner blowing things.
Yeah, it just was like everything that could happen, all the elements in one room, just thrown together.
That's what happens when people try and mess with smart houses or smart lofts.
I love that they're still in this loft though. Like, that's not even theirs.
If I was Lucas, I would be like, you're evicted. Look at what you did to you're attracting too much danger.
Right.
Yeah, I don't even know, like, he's gonna have to deal with that. And so be like, oh, what happened
he probably has
Why is that
top-notch
an option
insurance.
on the iPad, though? Like, massive fire. Like, there should be a setting that can't happen.
It's like just a little bit. Like, okay, you've reached your max fire potential for safety.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's blow the house up.
Yeah. I want to set my fireplace to like a 1, not a 11, just to be totally clear. But yeah, I agree with you. That should be at least an automatic shut off of some sort. Just like the iPad just was like, oh, and I just wanted the iPad to have the Apple sign come up and just be like, done. I'm out.
I'm just dying.
Done. Like, there's no function anymore. But so Aria was injured. Was anyone else injured?
I think that was it.
No. Okay, it was just Aria.
Let's not like call her injured yet though, because as far as I can see,
she's in the ER.
So we heard. All I saw was one bandage.
Okay,
is that not good enough?
Yeah, she burned her arm off.
Not it's third-degree burns or anything.
She's okay.
She died.
Just put some water on it. Put some water in it.
She was in the hospital. Okay,
right.
But how cute, to transition into our next point, how cute was Ezra when he came and visited her? My heart was like,
I was like, yes,
Ezra,
yes, give me more of this.
Stay there. Oh my god. And then she like turned her head over and she like smiled at him and I was like, oh my god.
Okay, so I never get sick of Aria and Ezra.
I don't.
Never.
Never.
No.
Yeah, you want them to, at least I want them to be together. All the people can tweet at us and tell me how I'm wrong, and that's totally fine.
That's fine, but we still believe what we believe.
The one thing you should know about us as Pretty Little Liars fans is they're the only couple we care about staying with each other.
Yep. Just
we're
because...
go ahead.
Oh, like, just in the time jump, they're the only ones that, like, why isn't this happening?
Right.
Like, everyone else is kind of, like, crossing, and there's too much, and everyone's, like, getting married and things. Like, they could very simply just be together and make us all happy.
I don't dislike Liam. I don't love him.
I don't love him. But I don't hate him.
I think he's cute, but I don't want him with her.
No, exactly.
Well, I thought it was interesting tonight. It was the first time you really saw her, I think, realize, like, he was like, oh, I can go get you, like, a snack from the cafeteria, and Ezra had brought everything with him. It was like clothes for you and magazines and I'll read to you and all of these things, and this guy kind of shows up and he's like, well, I'll get you something from the hospital cafeteria. And it was just like, I think, at least if I was in her position, and I think you saw it on her face, you start to realize, like, who actually cares more about you.
To be fair, just even though I love Ezra and Aria, her and Liam are very early in their relationship. Like she said before, like, they kind of, like, have been dating not that long. She hasn't even told him, or did they say I love you? No.
I don't think they have.
They haven't said that. Like, it was like, oh, you know, maybe he's not there yet. Also, he was on driving, so he probably just wanted to get there.
Julie, I agree with you. Ezra was back to himself today.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He totally was.
Yeah. And
he shaved.
Ezra for life.
Yeah, that was one of my, I think it was my favorite moment in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a total sweet thing with them, and I want more of that. But to kind of take it back to earlier in their storyline, Ezra kind of also gives her a professional bump by making her a co-writer, so it's not just personal anymore.
Right.
I think that Liam is starting to feel a little bit threatened.
I think so too.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's like kind of like, oh, okay.
And they were just like finishing each other's sentences, like writing the book and everything. Like, it's just so comfortable.
Yeah.
And they're still, like you said, they're still early. They're still kind of figuring it out.
She could totally dump him with no hard feelings.
Right. Exactly.
We would all be okay with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't see any negative feelings.
He can still hang around occasionally. I mean, they work together.
Yeah.
But we just don't
We don't want to kick him off the show.
No.
He's cute.
He's cute.
He can find someone else.
Yeah.
That's local. Maybe Mona.
Seems to be the next job.
Yeah, that makes
It's
sense.
usually the sequence.
So do we have any sense of who started this fire? I don't think it was, we say a malfunction with the security system,
But obviously there was somebody else who did that.
A 2.0, is that, I mean, do we have any sense of who that could be at this point?
Maybe it's Lucas. It was his loft. He's the only one that knows how to work it.
Oh, that would make me so
That would be
sad.
so sad.
He's like rich and doing stuff. I feel like he's over it.
So
like
too good for
Probably
that.
driving a Tesla somewhere.
Right.
Yeah,
he doesn't need that.
He's in Berlin chilling.
Yeah. He's like taking his private plane to like an island.
I feel
His
like
island.
with the technology though of this house, it would be easy to hack into
Yeah.
the system and be able to control all of this. So.
Yeah.
Can we take Mona off our suspect list? Because she was there.
Doesn't matter.
But then she also has the pink dice
Right,
keychain.
exactly.
I want to take Mona off, but I know she's there, so like...
I don't think that she did it, but I think that she did call Charlotte for some reason or another.
Definitely.
Definitely. Yeah.
But, you know, she stayed with her for a long time, so maybe she had something to talk to her about. Who knows?
Who knows?
And it could be like another Spencer situation where she's like trying to help, but then it gets all weird because she's Mona and super suspicious always.
Right.
Yeah.
Just got cross.
Yeah. I'm starting to think like we've got 2 more episodes in this season. Like I'm starting to try to eliminate people or figure out who this A 2.0 is, and I don't think we have enough of the like facts to get there yet.
Yeah.
But I'm really hoping in these next 2 episodes that that's something that becomes a little clearer, or at least that
Paul thinks the twin did it. The twin.
Interesting.
We don't know who has a twin, but we think someone has a twin.
Interesting.
And the twin did it. I kind of think Hannah has a twin.
That wouldn't be too far off.
Right. I think that she has a twin because if you think about it, they always are like, oh, you look just like she's, you know, that
It's
whole
always
thing
like
of-
the blonde thing, like going on with Allie and her, and Mona dressing up as Allie, and
I think.
And Cece.
And Cece. Oh yeah, Cece. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting with that. Like, I just wonder, because I've heard twin, I've heard Lucas, I've heard Mona, I've heard, like, it feels like everyone's a suspect again, which it takes me back to, like, season 5.
Yeah.
Where everyone was a suspect.
And I'm sorry, but Allison is out of town quite a bit this
Right.
season. She is jet setting
That's
all
what
of a sudden.
I was wondering because I'm like, why is she not on the show? Like they were like, oh, come back to town for Allison, but then Allison is gonna be gone 90% of the time. I'm like, is
what
she
is
just
going
not
on?
available, or like is the actress not available,
She's
or
not
are they like
on any other show?
right?
Is she?
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, they could use her. I don't
So-
understand why they're not using her because
very
it was
bizarre.
the whole. She's in the like beginning. They put her in the beginning, which you would think would mean she's gonna be a regular.
Right.
And then she's gone 90% of the time, like at the farm and getting married, and now she's somewhere else. I feel like she's gonna get fired.
Like
From
the
her-
actress?
No, from her teaching job.
Oh. I was like, wow, that's a
No, not
weird
the actress.
prediction.
No, from her teaching job. She has a job, and she's always gone. Like, teachers do not get that much vacation time.
Maybe she's actually planning her real life wedding in real
Oh,
life.
yeah, maybe.
Well, that's true, but I feel like we get her in the promo next week. We have her back, and she's kind of tortured.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like falling down a staircase.
Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah.
Yes. I love your. That's hard.
It always gets explained for sure, but
Right.
just very interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with her, because I feel
I
like,
don't think her marriage will last.
again on the show, just to clarify.
Oh, yes.
We keep going back from her real life to
sorry.
her on-screen
I think
life.
Allison, not the actress, will get fired because you don't because teachers don't have that much vacation time. And I think that her marriage on the show will not last. I'm sure she will have wedded bliss in real life.
Thank you for the clarification.
Just so no one comes after you with hate tweets.
But like, is anybody really invested in their relationship? Like we were saying last week, they have had a total of like 7 minutes on screen together.
Right.
It's like, oh hey, we met, and here's this doctor that was my sister's doctor. Oh, we're secretly dating and we have these feelings. Oh my god, we're married. Like,
well, even the girls said something about that
Yeah,
tonight. So
right.
obviously it's not
like
just
we
us,
haven't
the
had time
shows.
to get
Yeah.
invested in it, so I wouldn't feel too bad about them getting divorced
Whoa.
on the show.
We don't even have a ship name for them yet.
I still want Lorenzo. I like her and Lorenzo. They were a good couple,
I liked her and Lorenzo.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
saw through her and
Mm-hmm.
her
Oh,
harsh
yeah.
exterior.
Kristen, you and I are always on opposite ends. I'm like, happily ever after. And like, it's all falling apart.
Like torture. I
Only
want
with
them to
some
feel
people.
torture.
We like some couples.
It's
Yeah.
nice to see Allison just like be a person though. So I
Right.
do
That
like
is
watching that
true, yeah.
relationship and
I wanted to see more of her in the classroom, though. Like, I thought that was going to be more of a storyline. And
I did too, because at the end of last season, the whole previews for this season were her in the classroom. So I thought that would be a huge storyline, but it's hardly been anything, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting because it would be interesting to be back at Rosewood High in some capacity, like to have those moments there, because so much of the torture and what had happened to them in the first 5 seasons happened there. So I would like that, but it feels like that's just not the direction
Yeah.
the show is going at this point. Let's talk a little bit about Emily and the situation with the car and the creepiest car lot you could
Whoa.
possibly imagine.
I'm surprised she stayed for as long as she did.
I know.
I was like, get out of there! Get out of there!
At nighttime, she was there. I'm like, what are you doing, girl? Get out of there.
yeah, that's a noon mission you go
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Midday,
for sure.
midday
Yeah,
mission.
definitely midday.
Yeah, Emily's been really brave this season. It was
Yeah.
really cool to see. She's just been in all of the danger.
She's
the
no
whole
longer
time.
Yeah.
the weakest link.
Definitely not.
No, and I feel like she also sometimes though doesn't use her smarts in the best way possible. Again, with like the daytime mission, that might have been better. Also, just like, I just want these girls to protect themselves in some way. I've said it time after time on this show. It feels like they never lock their doors. They run into forests. They're all about like going to the creepy car lot. And I just am like, bring a friend. It's okay.
Yeah. What's that commercial that was on not too long ago where like the people are running into the chainsaw like shed? That's what these girls do. Like, run where the killer is.
But I do kind of get it because like if like all 4 of them walked into the car lot, like
Yeah.
Right.
it would probably set off some red flags. With
She should,
Uber.
you know, they have apps for that, like Watch My Back. You know, you can put that so you can.
Or like call a friend, put it in your
Yeah.
pocket.
Yeah, exactly. So someone knows you're there.
Anything that would just be like a level of security for these
Yeah.
girls. That's
Yeah.
what I'm looking for after 6 seasons. That's really it, I think, at this point.
Where did it go? Oh, where? Someone asks, "Where's Jason?" I'd like to know that too.
Oh yeah, Jason hasn't been around for a while.
Yeah, he's important. Like, where is
Yeah.
he?
His sister died.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think he really cares though. 'Cause
No.
I think he was like opposed to her getting released in the first place. But yeah, he should come back and then at least to be there for Allie.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel like we do have a lot of characters, though, that are missing in action at this point. Before we get into talking all about you, I want to do a little bit of a couples report card on this episode, because I feel like we had a lot of shifts in the couples.
Couples report card.
That sounds like fun.
I know.
I know. What is this?
It's very exciting, guys. I want to kind of talk about, with each of these couples, where we think a little bit of our predictions, but also, are they staying together, splitting up? So,
Aria and Ezra, A+.
A plus. I was just
plus
saying that.
plus.
A plus.
A++++. 100%. They did extra credit.
Her and Liam, done?
Her and Liam,
Yeah.
they're like a 60.
Okay, so...
I'm at like a 41.
That's like an F.
But it's
They
just so hard.
they haven't failed just yet.
Well, I don't think that they're failing, but they're not really scoring high on any of my meters. So
But do you think success, we're leaning towards her being with
Ezra.
not
if that
Liam.
doesn't happen and the show
They're gonna
ends
have-
for
And especially
good,
with the book.
If the show ends for good and they are not together, I'm just gonna have so many negative feelings.
I'm gonna pretend like I never watched this
I know.
series.
I'm gonna make
ever.
fan fiction. That's all I'm gonna do, because that's like the one thing I want. If I was like, there's one thing I need when this show ends, that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I need to feel emotionally fulfilled that way.
And what about Toby and Yvonne?
Yes.
We like them.
We like them.
Well, I feel like you probably can't give your opinion on that, but
Big fan.
I'm gonna say like an A-. It's heading towards an A.
all right, good, okay.
It's getting better.
However, I was actually like a big on like Spencer and
Were you?
Caleb,
Oh.
a Spaleb person. I mean, probably a little biased, but I was a big fan of it. But then when you do see them like Spencer and Toby sitting together, I'm like, not even close.
No.
Like
Yeah.
you realize that that's
I would be like, yes, just because I'd be like, I want my character to just be around Keegan Allen more.
Yeah. Yeah. That's gotta
That's
be
never a
really
bad place
I
to
mean,
be.
hey, you go to work every day and
Like,
you
and
get
you
to
get
hang out
yeah.
with him and look.
Like, let me hug
Yep.
you.
Mhm. Yep. Not a bad.
This is
day's
just
work.
acting. It's just acting.
I have to get closer to you. Make sure I
Over
feel
here.
comfortable.
Like, we're just in the frame. It's
We
okay.
have to do that kissing scene again. I don't feel like I'm doing my
really
best
messed
effort.
up. Let's do over again.
Yeah, and then what about Spencer? That brings us obviously to Spencer and Caleb.
I think they're really sexy. And
I
I
do
don't think
too.
Spencer's that sexy, but together they're so
I do
hot.
too, but I'm gonna give them a B, a solid
A
B.
solid
Yeah.
B heading toward a B+.
Yeah, like I think that they have room for improvement, but I do think that they're above average.
Yes.
So staying together.
Yes.
on again, off again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be a little rocky, but they're gonna pull their extra credit and get up there.
Oh, but in the promo we did see Hannah and him holding hands,
Yeah,
which
they
was
did.
so much.
Yeah, that's not happening.
I don't want him and Hannah together.
No,
like,
I'm over
if
them.
anything, I'm like, I want them as far apart as
Yep,
possible.
me too.
I love her and Jordan. I give them an A+ also.
All right, so
I'm gonna give them an A-.
I mean, at least a solid A I would give them. Because I don't want to put them on the same
Oh,
level.
she gave them a
Really?
B.
I gotta give
I
her a
want to know
B.
why. Why the B?
Because it just feels like she's trying to move on, like a little too hard. And she doesn't talk about him too much, and I
Yeah.
think she
Yep.
only kind of set a date because she had a veil on.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like sometimes I feel like with her, it's like she's in love with the idea of the wedding, not really in love with him.
See,
Yeah.
but I think she is.
So what do you give them?
A B. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I'm like a B+.
I want
maybe.
them because I think they're so cute and
I
he's so
do.
good to like. But we'll see.
He
Yeah.
is good to her, and she
Yeah.
even
Very
says,
good.
like, I'm the luckiest girl in the world. Like, he does so many good things for her. He's like a good match for her.
Right.
And she says good things about him that like oh, so sorry. If you're just listening, she says like I feel grounded around him, and like my life is stable. Like all of these things, like that's what a relationship should be. It shouldn't be all the like drama that she had with Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
I agree entirely. But let's transition and talk all about kind of your experience on Pretty Little Liars and what else you have going on. I want to find out about the moment you were cast on Pretty Little Liars. How did you find out? What was the audition process like?
It was insane. Just even getting the audition as like a fan myself was huge. And so I just was told that I was going to be the love interest of someone. I thought it was going to be someone new, something like that. And then I got the call for the callback, and they said, you'll be reading with Keegan Allen. And I was like, why am I reading with Toby? He's with Spencer. Oh no. Oh, I'm reading the tweets now. It's awful. So, and then I got it, and it was insane, and I flipped out. I flipped out so much that I was just like quiet. I was like, I'm gonna be on Pretty Little Liars. It was like that quiet freak out, and it was awesome.
So you have been a fan of the
Yeah.
series then and watched it, and you're up to date.
Yeah, so much so, like me and my mom and my sister all sit down and we watch it all together. And so we're just like sitting and watching, and then my face popped up, and we're like, oh right, that's why we're all together watching it this time, because I'm on it. We forgot. We were kind of just like waiting. We're like, all right, move on.
Did you know about the 5-year jump when you were cast, that this was something that was going to be happening on the show, or?
Yeah, like the rumors and things like that. Anything that every fan would know at that point. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great. And then tell me about kind of that first day on set. I just want to know about, like, this is such a long-standing cast, so been together for 6 years. What was that like walking onto that set?
It was nerve-wracking, just like also being a fan. I was so excited, and just like you said, everyone was such a tight knit, everyone was such a family and stuff. And so I walked onto set, and Keegan was just so amazing and warm and welcoming, and he like brought me around to everyone. Aww. And was like, "This is my new girlfriend." Like,
yeah.
You're like, it could be real life too.
So it was like really sweet, and the way I'm introduced to Spencer is the exact same way I introduced myself to Troy, and I got so excited. I just kind of like ran up and hugged her. I was like, I have a hugger. So it was awesome, and I got to do my first scene was the first scene in the show as well. So I was being introduced while being introduced.
Oh my gosh.
And so I got to meet everybody, and everyone was amazing. I was very lucky.
That's great. Do we have any questions so far from...
Someone says, "Oh my God, is that Yvonne?"
Yes, everyone.
Yes, for those of you who are late.
Have you gotten a lot of tweets like, "Oh my God, you're breaking up Spencer and Toby"?
Everyone's been pretty respectful.
Yeah, that's
good. I've gotten into like, "Go away, Dad." You know, they happen, and it's okay.
You're like, it's not you personally.
Right. I got some supporters too, and they're helping me out. But there was definitely a couple of bad ones, but they are good about separating it. Like, "Hey, Kara, you're a great addition to the show. You're doing a good job. Can Yvonne go now, please?" Please. It was like being a fan too. Like, you know, I have like time hop and stuff where it's like, "Oh, Spoby feels" on like my old Twitter. I was like,
Oh my gosh.
God.
That's funny.
You should totally like screenshot that
Yeah.
and share
Be
it.
like,
Yes.
"Guys, I get it.
I
I
know how you're feeling.
But I like how they wrote the character and everything, where she's supposed to be likable, and it's just like, it's been 5 years, it shouldn't be that bad, and so.
That's what I did really like about her character is it would have been so easy for them to make her like the bitch.
Right.
The one that everybody hates. But it turns out that Spencer's more of a bitch than she is. She stole her phone.
Yeah.
Like, she's more...
But she's very
also planted it.
likable.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we do come to really like your character and want them together, so...
Like, when I first heard that we were getting a new character and her name was going to be Yvonne, I was like, oh, and that she was the daughter of a political candidate. Like, that's all we heard when it came out. I was like, oh, no one's going to like her. Like,
Right.
she's going to be the villain. But they haven't really made you a villain, which is actually, I think... refreshing that they made a love interest that most people shouldn't like they made it likable. The same thing with Jordan,
Right.
like they made him a really likable character.
Liam, on the other hand...
They made him really likable to me. Jordan is not Liam.
likable, we just want to get rid of him.
Yeah, no, we like him, we would like him over there.
Yeah. We want him with somebody else.
Yeah.
Like Mona.
Perfect.
And will we ever meet your mom? We haven't really met her yet. Do you think y'all...
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
That's a keep watching kind of thing.
All right.
Okay, I do have a
excited for
question
that.
because I was a little confused because Toby was going to propose, but then we never saw him to propose. But then in later episodes prior to tonight, they referred to your character, as his fiance, and I'm like, wait, I was pretty sure he didn't propose yet.
Yeah, I didn't think you did.
I think she was just saying it because she saw the ring. I think it was like,
because I know
just
it's
my
like,
title
his
now.
Fiance, like, because she was going to be maybe. I don't
Man,
know.
that'd be kind of nice if he would propose to you and then you have that, like, forever.
Yeah.
Like, Keegan Allen proposed to me.
That'd be nice.
But not really.
That'd be a cool like thing on my reel.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
There you go.
I would just keep replaying.
I'm like, let's watch
Every
this
night.
over and over and over.
It's amazing. Yeah. I just feel like, okay. But what's to come with the election? Let's talk about, do you think any spoilers on the election? What's gonna...
For sure. There's just so much coming out and everything, and then, you know, I have to do what I need to do to make sure that everything is good with my mom, kind of staying out of the public eye and things like that.
Are we gonna see like Yvonne's reaction to the abortion news and everything?
She's kind of keeping it strong, trying to move forward with things and stuff, but she is really in the bulk of the election, so a lot of her attention is on that.
Yeah.
And she starts noticing that Toby's isn't so much on the election as much as mine, so kind of noticing where he is putting his energy.
Yeah.
Is that towards Spencer?
Perhaps a little bit. And it's hard, like, Yvonne's very in the dark. You can tell that she was told to play at the phone, but doesn't really know why. She's kind of just a puppet to everything.
Because she knows they've dated.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But she's thinking, oh, it was in the past.
But I mean, like, in regards to, like, all the Uber A business,
Right.
that she is very in the dark, so now that Toby knows about A, he kind of has to protect me.
He's going back, to...
Interesting, yeah, because we kind of saw that in the scenes from next week, that this is getting revealed to more and more people, that there's this Uber A, and what that means for everyone. So maybe that will force some of the original pairings back together? I don't know.
Solving mysteries,
Yeah,
like the old days.
Yeah, because I feel like Caleb, too, would be on that train of, like, all about the solving mystery.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure.
Right.
For sure. He's all about that.
Yeah, and what's coming up for your character specifically? I saw that definitely on the chat a few minutes ago. Will she be back for season 7?
I will have to find out. We're all gonna sit around. We're gonna see. Hopefully, I think that their relationship, like, he was just about to propose and things, so I think that there's still room to see what happens with them.
Well, there's only 2 more episodes of season 6, so yeah, I feel like there's more story to tell. With Yvonne,
Definitely.
for sure.
Yeah.
The finale's packed.
Oh,
gosh.
Packed.
That's quite the teaser.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying Yobi on the
Yeah.
chat. They're
Oh,
like,
that's
Yobi,
cute,
Yobi.
Yobi.
I'm glad we went with Yobi and not Tovan, because I feel like Tovan's like too real of a name.
That's like a real name, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's quite
Yobi's
close to
so
Spoby.
cute.
But,
Yobi
you
sounds
know.
like a little, like,
Like a little
bear.
bear.
Yeah.
Yobi.
And Yobi. There's
There is a teddy bear emoji.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yobi.
Aw.
Yeah, we were talking about, as we were watching the episode, our love of the emojis that are used on this show. It's some intense, like, fiery things that you are not able to get on your...
Or like the curtain with
Yeah.
the effects and
Yeah.
everything. Got real
Yeah.
fancy with it.
Yeah. They create
We
them,
need
which is...
these.
We have a question from Fantasy Stats Guru. What character from past seasons that hasn't been on this year would you have liked to have a scene with?
Someone from this one for sure. If I get seen with Sarah Harvey, like
Oh,
the
yeah.
internet breaks pretty much, right? That's like suspect number one. So I
Yeah.
always wanted to do a Sarah Harvey. Like, what? Wait, Yvonne's there? What is
Yeah.
that? Like that whole scene. I think that'd be.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I want to switch gears and talk a little bit about Casey Undercover,
Yep.
your new show. It's out March 13th. So exciting. Tell me a little bit about your role on that.
I'm going to be somewhat a little bit related to Zendaya's character and the mom and things like that, and you're just kind of learning a little bit more about their real life and things like that, and she's very oblivious to them.
And how
and
was
their
it
life.
working with Zendaya?
Amazing. She's so sweet and welcoming. We got to hang out a little bit. We went to Halloween Horror Nights and stuff. And like, she's just the sweetest. Everyone on that cast is, and they're just such a family, and they were so welcoming as well.
That's awesome.
So did you guys already wrap filming for that then?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, and
For mine.
For yours,
set,
yeah.
yes, yeah. Sounds like a fun, like, Disney Channel on March 13th, right?
Yep.
Awesome.
Very excited.
That's great. And then you have a new film as well, Mono.
Yep.
Fox film. What do you play in that?
I play, I guess what, Yvonne should have been the bitch character. Yes. The bitch kind of character. She's kind of mean girl. She just likes keeping the status quo of the high school intact and things like that. And her mom is the hot mom. And she's a doctor and things like that. And she stirs up trouble.
Ooh, that's another good teaser from you.
Yeah.
That's fun that you get to play, like,
Yeah,
two
what do you
different...
like? What do you prefer to do?
I mean, I have a lot of fun being like the mean one or like the
Yeah.
dumb one. It's just fun to play.
Uh-huh.
But Yvonne's awesome because it was the first time where I got to be, you know, a little bubbly and like I think our style is definitely closer and things like that. I was like, oh, you want me to wear like a dress to my knees? This is crazy. And so I love Yvonne. She's
Yeah.
like near and dear to my heart.
Awesome. And in my research for the interview today, I noticed that you moonlight as a makeup artist. So
I
just playing off of
do.
stylists. That's so
Nice.
cool. How did you get into that?
I've always been into it. I've been sneaking into my mom's makeup since always. I was only allowed to do like eyeshadow, so it would be like if I was wearing a yellow shirt, it was like yellow eyeshadow, like pink shirt, pink eyeshadow.
Match. Always match.
It's monochromatic. But yeah, I just got into it, and then I went to LOXA, which was an art school, and I majored in theater, so I worked a bunch with everybody on the shows and things like that, started building a kit, and then I have a friend, Courtney Phillip. He is an amazing photographer, and I kind of became like his little in-house, and he did a lot of shoots for Sammy Sanchez, who's on Radio Disney. Yeah.
Sammy.
She's the sweetest.
The sweetest.
Yeah, and so I got to work with her. She did a couple of events and photo shoots and stuff like that, and so I kind of helped her out, and she was one of my very first clients, like outside of school and stuff. So, and then from there, I just kind of started working more and more.
That's awesome. Really cool. I always love finding those fun facts about people. You're like, oh, that's so surprising because you're so successful as an actress. To find out that you moonlight as a makeup artist is great.
It's definitely like my passion.
That's a good skill to have.
That is a really good skill to have.
I wish I was a makeup artist.
I know.
It
I was
so
like,
much time.
I know. That was going to be my next question. Like, makeup tips? Do you have any good ones?
Oh my gosh, Beauty Blender. Just like all the time. It's like in my pocket right now.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
It's like a sponge. There's also like a Real Techniques one. There's a whole bunch
Is it like
of those.
that?
The sponge,
Okay,
yeah.
I do have one
I'm
of
just
those.
like always in my back pocket, ready to go.
Yeah,
Is
that's
it just used to blend?
Yeah, blending, fixing up,
Oh.
always doing checking.
Yeah.
Amazing. Something to check
Interesting.
out. Love that. And then, do you mind if we do a few quick fire questions?
All
with
right,
you?
let's do it.
Let's do your favorite Pretty Little Liars episode ever. You're a fan. You could be one that you're in, one that you're not in. Anything
Ooh, Ghost Train. Ghost Train was the episode where it got just very real. Like her getting locked in with the dead
Box.
body and everything. It's like
Ooh,
Pretty Little
so
Liars
creepy.
is getting.
And then do you
People
have
dying.
Serious.
That's amazing. Yeah, I think that was one of our favorites
Yeah,
as well.
for sure.
And it's
Yeah.
the Halloween episode. I'm like
Their
such a sucker for the
costumes.
Halloween episode of any show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what about your favorite acting moment? Could be on Pretty Little Liars, could be another show that you worked on. Do you have one that just like sticks out to you as either it was just a fun moment on set or something else that made it memorable?
My very first job was on a show for Nickelodeon. It was called Bucket and Skinner, and there was an elephant on set. So I got to, my very first job was with an elephant.
Oh, that's so fun.
That's great. And let's see. And I know your dad was in professional sports. So your favorite sports team?
Sports team, I wasn't allowed to pick one because my dad was moving around so much that if I picked a team, it would contradict the next one. So whoever he was with. However, for a very long time, I was a big Yankees fan. It was like the one he played for a season, and so I kept that. And then my dad was like, "Oh, hey, I got a new job. I'm working in Boston." I was like, "Okay, cool." And I like didn't think about it. And he came to me with like a Boston's Red Sox jersey, and I was like,
You're like, oh.
Switch
"Of
the
course,
teams.
of course, it's fine."
That's where I went to college, so I understand the Red Sox.
Yeah, and I
but-
loved it. I went to there and loved them too. So
Yeah,
I went
that's-
back to just not picking.
That's great. Not picking works.
Podcast, all the way.
Ooh, yeah.
And then I was gonna look. Oh, and then I wanted to ask you because I also do the Scream Queens after show here. I wanted to ask you about your experience on Scream Queens, and
It was fun. It was just a little blurb it and stuff, but
Yeah.
it kind of but it was so fun. I got to meet Nick Jonas, who is
That's always good.
the love of my life, and so that was cool.
and they film in Louisiana, right?
It actually was just one scene that they shot over here.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it was a little
interesting.
quick thing.
Very cool. Nice. Any other questions on the chat or any others that you girls have?
They're really excited about your beauty blender tip.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I am too. I'm gonna need to check that
Real
out.
techniques. There's a bunch of them. Just one of those. Big fan of a sponge. Even the ones at the store, the little white ones.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Really?
Someone, Eva James says, does Yvonne know about the pregnancy scare?
That was an amazing thing because I was at a table read for the episode, I think before this one, and I went up just to talk to Marlene, just to say hi and things, and she's like, "Oh, we just started writing your abortion stuff. Oh, hold on one second," and like went to go take a call. So I was just like, oh, what's happening? What's going on? And so I didn't even get to hear about because then we started the table read and stuff, and I didn't get to talk to her. And I was like, I like texted Kiki, and I was like, "So we had an abortion. I don't know what's going on yet." And so him and Marlene eventually we all got to talk about it and things. So I knew about it here and there, but it was cool to watch it all unfold.
And it's not
No.
his baby.
No.
Okay.
I just like started seeing. I was like, I don't know if it's where this baby came from or it went. Or...
Yeah. I think that was literally something we talked about in our after show.
Yeah, I
last
remember
week.
talking
we
about
were
that.
like, not his baby, right?
Right.
Okay.
So we kept doing
Back in
like
high
the math.
school.
We're like high school. Okay, no.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Right.
Gotta get out this calendar.
Right.
And let's jump into some predictions. Yeah, for the show.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
This might be tough for you. Any ones that you want to do on other characters? Anything that you're thinking of that you...
I think we're going to learn a lot about Allison the next episode. We're going to learn where she's at, what she's up to, just a little bit more about her, what she's doing.
I feel like she's going to be doing something sketchy.
As they always do.
Yes. Heather?
I think Mona is going to admit that she was the one who made the phone call, and hopefully we learn why she made the phone call. And I'm going to predict that Liam kind of gets the hint that maybe Ezria is getting back
Fingers
together.
crossed. Fingers crossed for that.
And Kristin?
Prediction from Anne. Ezria hookup. Yes,
Yeah.
fingers crossed for that also.
Yep.
I am going to predict / hope that Jordan comes back, and that's all just because I really want him back on my TV.
That was a great prediction, Kristin.
Thank you. That
It was more
really
like a hope that I was like pushing out into the universe.
And I really feel like I'm now being mean to you specifically because I was going to say that I feel like Hannah and Jordan are going for splits.
No. She has a beautiful diamond ring. They're gonna last forever.
Ooh, another prediction, twin business
Oh,
will be
yeah.
talked about.
Yeah.
Gonna find out about a little bit of that.
I'm
Someone's
excited.
got a twin.
2 more weeks, guys. A finale. Crazy.
I can't believe that. I still
Yeah.
can't believe
It's a
that.
bittersweet thing of
Yeah.
Pretty Little Liars finale.
Well, do we know when we're getting it back?
This
Are we-
summer, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, normally it's
Like
summer.
July?
Like June or
June,
July.
July.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, so thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
It was
you
so
guys.
great to go on that scoop. Yeah. And we'll be back with more Pretty Little Liars next week. And you can find AfterBuzz on AfterBuzz TV, and you can find me at Stephanie Wenger on Twitter and Instagram.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Kristin_Strange.
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Heather Joy Smith.
I'm Kara Royster on Instagram and Twitter.
See you all soon. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.